TikTok. What up, people? Welcome back. Another live at. Ooh, we got it. Lights, camera, action. We in this piece. Welcome back, fam. Welcome back. It's been a while. Been about a week, but I'm back at it as promised, as always, here to deliver that good stuff. So, without further ado, you saw the title of the video. What do men value? What do real men really value in feminine women? This is the conversation. This is the live, and without further ado, I feel like I say that all the time. I'm gonna have to come up with some other lingo. But anyway, let's get into it. All right, so what am I talking about? Let's be honest. Old school, I'm gonna show my age with this. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, is the word of it. Yeah, I got the pocket up here with the angles. There we go. Bring that in a bit. What up? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. We talk a different language. Speaking of languages, there's love languages. There's attachment styles. There's all these things. There's all this information out there to try and understand men, women, the dating game, gender wars, all of it. And that is what we're always talking about here. But tonight specifically, I want to help make some clarity, right? There's a lot of information out there, and none of it really lays out clearly, ladies, what men want and value out of a feminine woman and how to spot it if they're not the right men, right? What's actually showing up. You can get a man, but you can't keep a man. Why is that? Like, just making it clear. And so here I am. I won't even say behind enemy lines. I'm here as big bro, right? Giving you the inside scoop. I want you to have understanding. I want you to have the tools. So speaking of which, let's just back up. I am masculinity architect, coachduwaynelangham. I'm teaching you the ways of masculine, the ways of masculine men, manhood, and how to get what you want in your dating and relationships using what, ladies? Your divine feminine energy. If you turned into this channel, you know that is one of the staples of my content. It's all about divine masculine and feminine energy, both sides, because we all have both. So with that, before we jump in and unpack what men really value inside of feminine women, I want you to do a few things for me. I need you to make sure to like, share, subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest videos. I go live every week, dropping content, shorts, long form, all of it. Make sure you also do yourself a favor. Grab a free copy of Diving Deep into the Divine. This is the tell-all book, absolutely free ebook, where I'm laying out the details of what is masculine and feminine energy, what is the work that I do, how it impacts not only your romantic dynamics, but also your platonic, familial, work dynamics, professional. All of it is covered inside of these energies because they're universal laws that touch everything. So do yourself a favor, get up to the basics in divine energies, absolutely free on me, and enjoy this conversation. So with that, also, if you've got questions, I've got answers. I'm coming at you with the live. Anytime you drop the comments, I'm responding, but I also will make content just like this because I want to give you, the people, ladies, exactly what it is that you want, exactly what it is that you need. I want to see you win. I want to see us win. I want to see men, women, everybody. I'm trying to fix all this shit. So that's why I do what I do. So with that, who is this for? What is this discussion about? Well, this is going to be for women who are looking to embrace their femininity and seeking relationships with masculine men. So right off the bat, if that is not you, sayonara, au revoir, adios. I'll feel free to save your time. If that is what you're looking for, you're in the right place. So you're probably out there, you're getting male attention left and right. I mean, that's just easy. You got the femininity, beautiful flowers. You go up and down the street, getting catcalled, getting attention, or maybe not in these modern times. But either way, we're not going to get into that conversation. But what we do want to be clear about is that the attention you're getting from guys, you don't actually want. And the attention that you want, you're not getting as often as you like, how you would like it. Or here's the kicker, they don't stick around. There's just something missing that it just keeps feeling out of grasp. You've got a guy in your life, you feel he's got some potential, you feel like this could go somewhere, you're feeling things, he's somebody different, he's got this masculinity, it's what you've been hearing about, what you've been researching, looking into your femininity, and then it's over. And then he's gone. Why? What happened? See, this is what I want to break down for you. This is what I want to help you understand. So this is why I'm coming at you, big bro, heart to heart. Give you that info so you can understand the game and get what you want. Or last but not least, you're already in a relationship. You've got that man. You've locked him down. You've got the commitment. But God damn, it seemed like the work started when we said I do. What is this about? So if you're in a relationship, marriage or not, long-term relationships is a different game. It takes something to attain, right? To get into a relationship, period. And that is actually when the real work starts. Because maintaining with another human being, another infinite child of God in the whole spectrum of life we show up inside of our humanity, it can be hard to keep the dynamic fresh. And so those of you looking to stoke those flames, to get the fire and intensity back in the relationship, you're the ones I'm going to take care of as well. So I want to let you know, if any of those put you in a boat, you are in the right place, because we're going to be diving deep into what attracts men to feminine women. What do they want? What do they value? Watch to the end. I've got 3 simple steps you can use today, tonight, to bring out his desire and intentionality to be with you. And here's the important part, ladies. Be willing to commit to you. Yes, the magic words. I know you want it, and I'm going to talk about it. So why does this all happen? What causes this out of sorts? Why is it so complicated? Isn't this all natural stuff? I'll tell you this, and this is from a man's perspective, right? Which is the insights I'm giving you, the inside scoop. Why I started my work, which led me to men's work, led me into the masculine and feminine energy, all of it, started behind the dating game being a natural process. Like at my core, I'm talking about really young, in my teenage years, I understood men, women. Natural is breathing air, drinking water. It should not be this complicated. This is from my own experience, right? And so with something that should be more natural, oh man, what's up? Luke Lutheran, sorry if I messed up that last name. Appreciate you tuning in on the YouTube, fam. What's up? Says, real men only value love and familia. Ooh. See, ladies, there's things that you got to get on the other side, because what I hear and what Luke just shared there is legacy. That's truly what makes a difference, what lasts beyond us. Yeah, and that's truly why we come together in long-time companionship, right? It's not just that we have our needs, our wants, our desires. However, there's the deeper meaning, like what's going to be here after we get what we want, what takes care of the future, what takes care of the next generation, what takes care of our seed, whatever we're building, an empire. And so those are the things you definitely want to pay attention to, because guess what, ladies? If you want a masculine man, you're going to want him to lead. And if he's going to be your leader, he's going to have vision for the future. So I'll have all these things here to unpack. Shout out to my man Luke. Share this to whoever you feel needs to be involved in this conversation. But let's dive in. So like I said, what causes all this to happen? So first thing I'm going to tell you, ladies, is you may have found yourself with all that information out there playing the wrong game. Now, what do I mean by that? Playing the wrong games, meaning that you're playing games that men don't care about, that men don't commit to, is the bigger thing. What does that look like? What am I saying? So you're leading with your accomplishments, your acquisitions, your accolades, your credentials, how much you make, how much you've earned, how hard you've worked. You're presenting in your masculine, basically. Now, the theory behind that, you can drop down in the comments if it's something different for yourself. The theory behind that is that you're attracted to men, and maybe you want to show up with things that men value. The thing that you have to understand is what men value: honor and respect in the world of men, in the world of masculine, speaking more specifically, because you have that as well. It's completely fair. I'm not out here to make this a man's world conversation or anything like that. However, those things that men value, honor and respect, is amongst other men. Now, does that mean you can't have it? Like I said, no, not at all. Take that to your women. They will build you up. They will celebrate you. Now, the right man, as your partner, as your king, as your leader, is going to want to do that, period. And in general, when men are looking for a partner, because remember, if you want a masculine man, if you want him to commit, you're going to need to bring to the table what he wants and desires. So you have to understand, this is why I tell you, having your accomplishments, having your career, having your education, even ladies, having your life experiences as a badge of honor. It is all in the world of masculine. These are not bad things. They don't take anything away from who you are, the type of partner you are, the type of woman you are, the human being you are. Not at all. What I'm talking to is the value on the market. Because if you're bringing to the table, right, and it's so funny, the 50-50 conversation, which is such bullshit. If you're bringing to the table the same things he's bringing to the table, well, why would he be interested in that? Why would he commit to that? Where are you complementing, completing the other half, right? Yin and yang, masculine, feminine energy, the yin and yang symbol, that dance is really the best symbol, right, of the dance, of social dynamics, dating, relationships. So you bringing to the table all the things that he needs to bring. Why does he need to bring them? Well, easy. Just look at traditional. Men need to provide. We're going to get to that later. Now, being able to help, being able to contribute, those are all things of value. What you just need to understand is that that's not necessarily what he wants. Now, I'll put it this way so you can understand it. Not that you can, but I want to break it down to how you're likely thinking. A handsome man, and downright, I'm going to say it, pretty boy. You know what that is. You know that energy. You know what it feels like. It's attractive. It's palpable. Can't resist it. However, ladies, tell me this. Are you going to bank your relationship, your loyalty? Are you going to latch yourself onto for the rest of your life, for your children, for your legacy, for everything, for your future, behind a man's good looks? Now, he may be dashing, stunning, chiseled chin, nice beard, whatever he's got going. Beautiful eyes, you get lost in his baby blue eyes. Is that going to be the type of leader that you want to follow? No, it's nice. It does something to you, makes you feel something. But when you think about raising kids, when you think about feeling safe, when you think about being protected, provided, cherished, looks don't come into the picture. It's like, well, you might be spending more time in the mirror and, grooming and trimming and getting pretty and stuff than I do. So do you get what I'm saying? Like, if he's bringing what you're bringing to the table, like, oh yeah, he can be chiseled and handsome and all that all day, but that doesn't really do anything for you. So no different, vice versa, flip it to the other side. That's why I use that example. You bringing credentials, you bringing resources to the table, it doesn't really do it for a man. Now, it means that if he goes through hard times, you can get his back. It means that you won't be so completely reliant on him, which in a way can be a negative because it's less that you would need him. And I don't mean need like you need oxygen, but just a literal. Masculine is of service. It's the action. It's the doing. So if you've done everything that needs to be done, even to the context of experiences, he wants to show you the world. He wants to give you an experience. He wants to show you the world through his filter, through his view and vision. These are the things that he wants and values. If you've done it all, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, have one of your own in the garage, have your own couple of houses. There's nothing wrong with you having these things. And what I'm pointing to is that a man does not value these things. You're leading with your masculinity. So now we'll flip it. There's a lot of confusion out there. Oh man, I got some good comments coming in on the YouTube. Yo, TikTok, where y'all at? I need to get some live engagement. YouTube is over here popping off in the comments. I love it. Said a girlfriend taught the dog. This is Joel. Girlfriend taught the dog to bring me my slippers when I got home from work. So apparently, I'll marry her. Plus, she always wears dresses. That's hard to find. Plus, I hide my slippers and she trained the dog to go find them and bring them and wearing dresses. So ladies, perfect. Don't take it from me. I am the inside scoop, but we got comments coming in from my boy Joel on YouTube and Luke, and they're telling you exactly, taught the dog to do the trick. Yeah, right? And they're telling you exactly what they look for. These little things. He didn't say anything about you bought me some new shoes. He said you trained the dog to bring me some shoes. These are things that make my life easier. That's a head start. Joel's got a heads up. He's already talking about some of the tips I'll have for you at the end. Ladies, don't you love it? I got the guys. This is the piece I'm talking about. I got the guys coming in, dropping their comments on the ladies' channel. This is amazing. I'm about to be dropping the men's, what women want, on the flip side. So Joel, Luke, tune over to Masculinity Architect after, make sure you get your slice. So other things, right? Other ways you may show up playing the game wrong, things that men don't care about and don't commit to. Leading with your sexuality. Now, this is polarizing. Leading with your sexuality. This is more or less for your benefit, ladies. And I say that because, yes, it leans more to the femininity, your softness, your appearance, your beauty. That is definitely where the power and value of femininity on the surface, what is seen in the physical, is available. And especially with men, we're visual creatures. However, when you lead with that sexuality, that is a wide ass net. What I mean by that is that because men are driven, so visual and so sexual, we have a sex drive, not a sexual desire. Ladies, you have a desire. You can enjoy sex, you can like sex, all the parts of sex. However, you don't need it like you need to breathe. The lack of the hormone, testosterone, I'm just talking about the biological science of it. Because of that lack of testosterone, you don't feel the drive to need to spread a seed, to need to conquer, attain the sexual urge. There's studies on it from women, or I don't know what to be referred to, but women transitioning and taking the hormones and getting exposed to that level of testosterone, like, wow, I had no idea. And that's coming straight from their mouth. So if you get an understanding of that, so with that being such a driver, what that means is that your net is too wide. Because guess what? Every male attracted to your sexuality, while he may dabble, because for a man, there's not much investment in that. For a man, he can entertain, he can play. This can be just for fun. This can be right now instead of Mrs. Right. And there's no shame in that. On either side, the thing is, with the net being so wide, with you opening, exchanging, and exposing yourself, giving some of your most precious value, your body, yourself, the intimacy of the exchange, with you opening up and leading with that in the sexuality, it automatically classifies you. Not only are you going to get a wider net of more of the trash, he's also not going to take you seriously. Why is that? Because you then, as the phrase, say it with me, for the streets. Now, I don't care how you feel about this personally. Again, we're talking about the men. And if you want a masculine man, you're going to have to get his plan. Like, you got to get the blueprint. You have to understand, if he can see your sexuality, that means the next man can see your sexuality. That means other men have had experience, seen, had access to, on whatever levels, online, in person, real life, body count, whatever, all levels of it, says that it is open for business, it is out for the public, it is available for everyone. May or may not be the case, but when you lead with that sexuality, he may want it as bad. When there's nothing to earn, there's nothing required to invest, there's no mystery to it, it's given away so easily. If something's so readily available, it cannot be that valuable. What you get, what you pay for. So if it was free, if it was as free as walking up to the water fountain, well, and mind you, conceptually, we are just talking about sex. We are just talking about consensual adults exchanging their pleasure. The thing that you've got to be aware of, if you want a masculine man to commit and you are leading with your sexuality, men know how to operate very quickly and very clearly. Now, here's the thing. The access to the sexuality, that is part of that feminine power, the attention, the affection, the intimacy, softness. Those are all the things that in the world of men, hardworking, hard-edged, blood, sweat, and tears, putting in the work and action, any level of all that softness is of value. Men want that, no doubt. The thing is, the pleasure, the satisfaction is there at the surface, and the commitment that you want from him, where he wants to build a life with you, all of that is thrown away and immediately classified as just for pleasure, just for fun, just for right now. Now, I want to be clear that that does not mean that you have to be so hard-edged that you cannot experience, that you cannot live your life, that you cannot go with the flow, go with the moment, enjoy yourself, have experiences. Absolutely you can, and understand the weight of that. No different than if that man leaves his seed behind, something that was quick and not classified and all that, he's now got a lifelong, literally, investment into. So what I'm speaking to is the qualifications and responsibility. Vetting, making sure your picker is accurate, making sure that everything aligns. Because you can have everything that you want from a relationship. You can have the sex, you can have the experiences, you can have the partnership, you can have all the great things. And it's best to do that, ideally, just because you only got so many swings at bat, you only got so much time in this life. Ideally, enjoy it with the person that you're meant to be enjoying it with. Meant to by your preferences, whoever you want to spend that time with. But if you've given away your value, if you've given away the things that he wants, if you're leading with that such that he gets the impression everybody can get access, it's just out there, it's not that valuable, you are devaluing yourself. That's going to take away his interest. So let's keep it moving. I get deep into this stuff. I'm trying to make them more bite-sized, more digestible, trying to keep them around 30 minutes. But I get talking, it gets deep. I mean, I'm loving the comments coming in from YouTube and TikTok. Y'all got to catch up. What we got here? Joel, what are we talking about? Original attraction is appearance. Yep, number one. Strangers. After that, the game begins. That's some wisdom right there. He knows about building things up. Say Stacy's mom is off limits. What? Remember the days you kissed the girl her dad found out, then you got married. My God, yes. We're showing some age here, but it's good down in the chat on YouTube. I love it, my guy. Big ups. What she had going on. I love it, man. All right, so let me continue on. So what else is happening when you're playing the wrong games? There's a lack of polarity. What does that mean? Men are turned off, repelled by this activity. Polarity. Now, I started telling you about my work, masculine and feminine energy. These are opposites like a magnet, so they attract. They are drawn to each other just naturally. Universal laws. That's why that yin and yang, there's a piece of each on both sides. They swirl together. They yoke off of each other. That is polarity. That is attraction. When you get two of the same, too masculine or too feminine, I'm not talking about gender and sex. Understand that. The energy in all of us, man, woman, and whatever else you want to consider yourself. When there's a lack of polarity, there is no attraction. If he doesn't see what he wants, remember, he's hard-edged, he's straightforward. So again, you're leading with your education, you're leading with your accomplishments, you're leading with all the things that he has. There's no polarity in that. There's no attraction in that. There's no mystery in that. Those are all the things that he's used to. So with that lack of polarity, how do you show up, right, ladies? I want to give you like what's at the source of it. The inability to relax and trust his lead. With a disclaimer, I know, ladies, just because he's a man, just because he's a male, just because he's got a penis, does not mean he's qualified to be a leader. I cannot step over these principles, and I can't pack every single one of them into every single video. But you must understand, after you vet him as a qualified, he's a real man, he's a masculine man, and he aligns with what it is that you want, relaxing, letting go of control, submission, to go along and trust his lead. That is polarity. If you've got your hand on the wheel, if you're driving in your masculine, if you've got a plan, if you've got all the answers, if you know how to figure it out, if you're going to take charge. And here's the thing, ladies, especially if you're tuned into my work, then you understand these conversations, when your masculine is running it, there's a time and a place for everything. If you're at work, if you're building your empire, you're an entrepreneur, you've got a career, whatever that case is, there are going to be times. If you're a single parent, or if you're parenting and he's away and you've got to hold down the house, there are going to be times where it's appropriate for you to be in your masculine. When it comes to your masculine man, you want to drop that. You want to relax and trust. Just give up and trust. It may get fucked up. Here's the secret. That's the pressure a leader takes on. You put that pressure down, let him take that shit. You're already on the way to being in your femininity. You're already on the way to creating the polarity and attraction. What are some other ways that it shows up? Communication, behaviors. Your energy is too much alike. Now, this can show up in a multitude of ways. One, like I said, lack of polarity can be repelling, but maybe you just end up boys. Maybe you just end up kicking it like roommates. Maybe you're clowning, roasting, throwing jokes back and forth. Well, at the same time, ladies, does that get you wet, moist, juicy, ready for some sensuality, ready to be devoured, you know? That doesn't kick that up. It's fun, it's playful, it's a good mood, a good vibe even, but it can still doesn't really turn you on, doesn't really get the fire, the chemistry, everything that you look for and is critical as a core element of relationships. So communication, the way that you talk, this, for the generation that's out right now, I don't truly understand it. I'm not going to judge. But I will never understand the dynamic where man and woman are calling each other bro. Bro, what you doing? Bro, she calling him bro, he calling her bro. That's what I'm talking about, the buddy. And this is just my own personal. This has nothing to do with what I'm actually talking about. Make sure the man that you're interested in, how he feels about that. It is still going to kill the polarity. He can't treat you like his homie. I mean, tomboy in a way if you're attractive like that. But still, the energy behind it, if you want to be pampered, if you want to be treated like a queen, if you want your soft life, if you want all of his masculine burliness and bigness to come out and be big and bad and protect you and be strong and all those things, if you're like his boys, he's likely to operate like you're his boys. And he's likely, no judgment, not trying to fuck his boys, not trying to turn them on, not trying to seduce and romance. And none of that stuff is in the mix. So when I say your communication, when I say your behaviors, your tone, your language, your words, your approach, being direct and indirect, all of these things are ways of masculine energy. And when you bring that to the table, your energy is too much alike, kills the polarity. Last thing that you can do that kills the polarity. Joel is having a blast in the comments. Brick house doesn't mind the slippers. Ooh, a drool. That's why I hide them. That's what's up. So the last thing is that you make him feel that he's not needed, that he's not seen, that he's not appreciated. You take for granted even that you wake up and the trash is always out on Tuesday morning, Friday morning. You take for granted that the car's got a fresh sign and wax and polish vacuumed out. You take for granted the order he keeps in the house. You take for granted the way he follows behind to make sure the kids are following your word and respecting, because you know, as women, as the feminine partner, you're typically not going to want to do the hard, straight edge. There goes my light, come on down. Hard, straight edged disciplinarian. Give me a sec, y'all. We live in this joint. Thought it might happen, but you know, these boys always prepared. Lights, camera, action. Auto follow, back in this mix. All right, let's go. So if he's not needed, if he's not seen, if he's not appreciated, why is he here? I said it earlier, masculine energy wants to be useful, wants to provide, protect, cherish, needs to be of use, utility. Villages, societies, civilizations, all of it is built off of masculinity, right? And so if the masculine's not valued, if he's not noticed, if you have nothing but complaints, you don't acknowledge him, you don't leave him feeling seen, right? Maybe he doesn't make the most. Maybe you don't need the money. Maybe you don't need the things that he shows up as. Or in today's modern times, you can honestly just pick up a phone. You can honestly just pull out an app. You can honestly pay and get whatever services outsourced. That still does not mean that the value is not there. And when you can let him know that you see him, that you appreciate him, that you need him, not like you breathe, let go of the ego, let go of the identity. Don't worry about him being too big-headed about it. But that little bit, because guess what, ladies? Here's something I really got to share. Men have to pick up the game. Not just learn game, not get good at game, but really understand what the fuck is going on, because somebody's got to lead it. The thing about that is, men learn the things that they don't necessarily like or give a fuck about, they know that you like. See, that hunter mentality is still there. If you can have what the prey wants, that's your bait, that's your lure. Do it. You don't give a fuck about flowers, chocolates, teddy bears, and shit on Valentine's, but you do. So he does it for you, taking the interest, doing the things that you want and need. Guys, flip over to the men's channel after this so you can get the 411 and what the ladies want. But understand that the same thing applies to you. So again, while in your life experience, you don't need these things. You may not have, well, hopefully you appreciate it, but maybe you didn't appreciate it so much, but it's just the saying it, just putting it out there. And I'm gonna prelude to some of the secrets later I'm going to talk about, but that's the ways of feminine influence, indirect communication, the softness. It's not what feminine is capable of. Grown, mature, feminine energy knows that she can do it, Immature feels that she can't do it. She's incapable. And I say she, just speaking to the essence of the energy, right? So you think, young little girl, I can't do it. The world's too big, it's too hard, it's scary. She grows up a little bit. Anything you can do, I can do. She can do it. She knows she can. But now she's got something to prove. Now she's showing up and out of her energy. She's doing and all this action and not in touch with her body. She's not connected to intuition and spirit. Why? It's out of sorts. Mature, grown, feminine energy. Oh, I can do it. But I would much rather you do it. I would much rather, big, strong man. Yeah, go ahead and get those boxes for me. Go ahead and lift it. Go ahead and wash that car. Take out that. Ooh, get me hot doing all this. Y'all know what y'all be doing. Come on. It's the same thing. But when you're gassing him up like that, oh yeah, he wants to do it. He wants to do it again and again and again. Like you set that programming and training, just like my man Joel over here got the dog bringing the slippers. You can train them just the same. I tell everybody that. You're training everybody how to treat you, how to behave with you, how to respect your boundaries. He's training you, you're training him. This is relationships, people. So don't take offense to it. And when you do the right kind of training, you get the right kind of behavior. So let's keep it moving, right? Last thing, these are for the people in relationships. I have not forgotten about you. Lacking connection, communication, to know what each other wants and needs. So again, this is the situation where you know your man, been together for some time, you know what he's all about. Familiarity breeds contempt. You know him, he knows you, knows what you wear, knows the pants you got on when it's time to get it in, he knows the time of the month where it's not gonna happen. You just know everything about each other. You know his go-to recipe to get you off or not, whatever that looks like. But after a while, things get boring. Things get assumed, right? It's just so I know what you're gonna do next. I feel like I know, and there's no guesswork, there's no surprise. All the excitement about the infatuation of dating somebody new. Waking up that first morning after, yeah, you got a good thing in your life. I remember that moment. The whole context is when you get away from that, right? Then it's a completely different thing. What's Joel talking about? Single, you need to win, man. They drop hints. Buddy thinks you're the prettiest girl he's ever seen. And he approaches him and says, is it true? Oh, goodness. Joel is having the time in these comments. I'm loving it. So, yeah, the ways that you want to remedy that in a relationship that's already established, invite and make yourself available as a safe space for him to be vulnerable and believe you two can do the work together. Why do I say this? This is important, ladies, because likely, aside from the boredom, aside from the predictability, you've also been in a partnership that has aged, that has matured, and the balance may be out of it. I say it that way. Invite him. This is feminine play, right? It's not direct. Hey, we need to do this. Let's sit down and do this. No, invitation. Maybe we should try. What if, I was reading about this, and do you think that we could? You see, you give it the opportunity to be his idea, and I say that because you want to let him step into the lead of that. Let him take charge. Let him take control. Let him potentially fuck it up. Hey, the pressure's off of you. Feminine has no responsibility inside of relating. So when you present it to him in this way, this is how you start the dialogue, open things back up, and you do it in such a way, I'm coaching on this feminine style, where it's his idea. You're cheerleading and supporting. Oh, I'm so happy you came up with this. I'm so happy you did some research. This is so awesome that we've got these tools to talk about and work on things here. So that gives you an idea of how this happened, how you wound up here, how things started so hot and fresh and have gotten a little stale. But that's why you came to this conversation. So we're about to wrap up here. This live is about why men are drawn to feminine women, what they want and value from feminine women. So the moment you've been waiting for, get these simple steps as promised to put yourself in position where you are a no-brainer for the man of your dreams. Not the attention you've been getting, not the false starts, false alerts, and not following through, the lack of commitment, whatever, boy toys, distractions, all of it. I'm going to tell you about for the man that you want. These are the three things you need to do. Know your worth. What do I mean by that? You got to know the power of your femininity. What does that mean? You're going to need to embrace and flow in your femininity. These are just core principles of foundation. Like I said, polarity. If the energy is missing, you got to bring that in. You got to introduce that. You got to bring things back to balance. Maybe you've had your hand on the wheel for some time. Maybe you started driving. Maybe it's been neutral. Maybe he's fallen back on the lead. Maybe you just don't trust it. Maybe you've had some slip ups and things to repair. That's what relationships look like. But bringing that femininity in is going to bring out his masculine. That's what I really want to get clear, because if you can get down to these basics of masculine and feminine energy, it's a filter. It's a way to look through life where these universal laws are running everything. So when I tell you this, ladies, you bring the femininity, don't worry about the masculine. Because what's been happening is wherever you haven't been at rest, wherever you have been in your masculine, that's holding the space. That is taking up the bandwidth. That is blocking. It's repelling all the things that I talked about. That's why his masculine is not coming in. Whether or not he's activated it, whether or not he's on his purpose, standing 10 toes down inside of his masculine, all it is your encouragement by bringing your femininity. As that femininity comes out, it calls out the masculine. That's how you ended up together in the first place. So how do you do that? It's a deep world out there, this masculine and feminine energy. So I definitely want to give you what you need. TikTok, I got to get used to these comments. I think I got some dropping in. I appreciate the love. It's on the phone, small screen. I don't have the whole control center like I got over here on YouTube, but we're going to run with it. I appreciate you for joining in, people. So how do you do that? Journal. Get in touch with your emotions. Divine feminine energy is the nurturing, the connection, the internal, the inside, into it. You've got to see into yourself to get in tune and inspired, in spirit, tuned into God. It's the bigger, not bigger, the more powerful energy, because it is everything that is not in the physical. It is the unseen. And as we know, just like the tip of the iceberg, there is much more beneath the surface that meets the eye. Your practice in journaling is simply to do that. Be in touch with your emotions, recount your days, recount your experiences, be aware of how you feel going through life. Stop all the doing, stop all the operating in your masculine, and this is how you embrace and flow. It's not going to look like anything to do. It's not going to look like anything huge, because you can't even see it from the surface. You are going to feel it, and you will quickly notice a difference. The work I do with my clients, days, weeks, simple interactions, and you can just make these shifts. And this is how I know it works, because it's universal laws and principles. You pull out the masculine energy, it's going to be filled with masculine energy. You bring the femininity, it's going to call out and attract masculine energy. One way or the other, all you're doing is playing with the energy. So the second thing you need to do, get into your body, ladies. Get some movement going. Get some yoga, dancing, stretching, anything that lets you feel. Breathing, breath work, meditation. The emphasis is that you are breathing. You feel calmer when you're stretching, soothing activities. When you dance, you're playing, you're expressing. As children, why do you think they can't sit still? I got a 10-year-old who literally cannot sit still, always moving. And that's the ultimate sign of that femininity. She's just at play. She's just free. If anything, socially, we have to restrict her. Slow down, pay attention, give me eye contact, like let me know that you're here. But that's the raw feminine essence of it. Get into your body so that you can feel those sensations. Connect with your feelings and emotions through journaling. Feel inside your body so that you feel how you feel. Motion creates emotion. I'll say it that way. So get into your body. You'll feel the difference almost immediately. It's a shift. Just be. Feminine energy is the being, not the doing, not the things to be done, not all that there is to be done, but the being, the way of being. See, I'm delivering this message, having this conversation with you. I am doing something, and there's a way of being about it. Pregnant pause. Am I just delivering data, facts, throwing it all at you? Am I outlandish with the energy, just over the top? Am I calm, paced, collected, really wanting you to connect, feel what I'm talking about? This is what it's like to just be. And when you actively rest and give yourself the freedom to not be scrolling, not to be doing anything, but to just be with your surroundings, be with the environment, be with whatever's around, be with yourself, right? Eckhart Tolle, enjoying myself, enjoy in myself. Next thing you can do, I talked about the communication. your softness, being indirect, being an influence. This is always a tricky one. You want to emphasize softness in everything that you do. What do I mean by that? Being indirect with your communication, relying on your influence. Test yourself in this. How many things can you get done without doing it yourself and without telling someone else to do it? Not even asking, if you want to go deep, the power of influence. It would be so nice. It has been so long since you know what I love? The last time that and whatever those things are, you're dropping and planting a seed in the right masculine partner who wants to know you, listen to you, leave you feeling seen, heard, and understood, and wants to deliver and fulfill on those dreams, provide, protect, and cherish. He's going to show up, and that's how you give him the space to do so. And by that, let him be a man. Give him the respect, acknowledgement, appreciation of his manly ways that, here's the kicker, ladies, is different from you. Don't complain about it. Don't let your preferences be known, but just notice and acknowledge the way that he is different, the ways that you appreciate his manhood, just that subtlety. And that makes a difference. That gives a shift. That's how you leave him seen and understood. You practice these ways, you'll be flowing in your feminine in no time. Keep it moving. Number 2, give him a chase, not a challenge, ladies. No man wants a challenge. He wants peace in his life. He steps into challenges. He has courage to take on risk and adversity, but he wants peace. So don't give him a challenge, but give him a chase. As I said earlier, leading with the sexuality, leave something, a bit of mystery. Leave something that takes some intrigue, some work, some effort. If he can see it all from the cover of the book, why would he read the story? So give him a chase. How do you do that? Let him know you're into him. You don't do the initiation. That's where the doing starts. That's masculine. And you can give him an invitation. It's your eyes. Eye contact, a look. Ladies, come on, let's be honest. You have to navigate the world biblically as the weaker sex, right? Nothing of offense. Now with that, that means that you peep game so much earlier and so much quicker. You need to feel with your intuition if it's safe. You need to feel with your intuition that you can protect yourself, that you can navigate, not defend yourself, not fight off threats, but protect yourself. Know the differences of what dark alleys to go down and not. Know the shortcuts. Know the people to trust. Feel the energy. So inside of that, give him the feeling that you're into him. You know how to do this. It just might not be practiced. Now, make sure he is vested in your pursuit. That's how you give him the chase. Let him show that effort. Let him shoot his shot. Let him trip over his words. Let him make the approach. You've given him the eye contact, and yes, keep giving him the eye contact. Nowadays, Me Too movements and everything else out in the world, and just the caliber of men that are out there, it may take some time, but you give him those eyes. You show him a smile. Let the teeth be shown. Let your glowing energy be out there. Let him see you associating with other people. If your presentation gives closed off, if your presentation gives I'm in my own world, do not disturb, etc., resting bitch face, you have to work on these things. But when you let him in to let him know that you're interested in him, and then make sure he's putting in that effort, then when he does, here's the kicker, giving him the chase, give him suggestions. I've been sprinkling them throughout this conversation. You know how much I have not gone to Topgolf in a minute. That's all you have to do. Drop hints. And if he doesn't pick it up, that's okay. Move on. You give masculine the opportunity. Masculine learns from the experience. I lost it. Another one got away. I missed out. And now he knows to be a better man. Now he knows to step up. Now he knows to shoot a shot again. She had some interest, but something dulled out. Now, if you're not interested, cool. He had a shot. But this is the way that you go about auditioning on your end and making sure that the right masculine man is showing up. Most importantly, this is how you give him a chase. So give him suggestions. Don't tell him what he should do. Don't tell him what you want. Don't tell him what you expect. Don't tell him about himself. Give suggestions. See, this is that indirect communication. I'm giving you the tools and tips to help you embrace that femininity and give him the chase that he needs without being challenges. And when you do that, because you're suggesting, it also doubles back as far as letting him lead, letting him be the man. Make everything his idea. Because you suggested it, you can then give him the credit that he said, let's go do this. You can give him the credit that he knows you so well. You gave him the answers to the test. But do you get it? Just the dynamic is so much more engaging, so much more pleasing, so much more enjoyable for both parties. You get what you want. He gets what he wants, to feel like a man, to be the man, to show up and satisfy you, to please you, to earn your validation, your attention. So moving on to the final step, step 3. Now, once you've got a man around, this is the kicker. This is where your job kicks in. Add value to his life. I don't think I can get these things under an hour. It's such a juicy topic. It's just what's been on my mind. I fielded the questions out there for what people want to know, and definitely the response from both sides. Men want to know what women want. Women want to know what men really want. I get the comments all the time, so I had to jump into this conversation, and I'm glad I did. What is this? We got blind man on the dance floor. Joel is wilding out over here. I love it. I'm not even going to read this stuff. I'll be too distracted. All right, add value to his life. How do you do that? What does that look like when you're adding value to a masculine man's life? What do you get? The guy who already has everything. Okay. Be a helpmate. You see, feminine energy, this is why I say it's not about the sexuality. This is why I say it's not about the accomplishments, the masculine. Feminine energy is the unseen. Oof, that's powerful. It's fucking sexy. Be the helpmate. Add texture to his purpose, to his home, to his children, to his community. Make his experience of life more valuable. Ladies, you know all about this. In your feminine ways, you pick up on those little differences. You pick up on the texture. This is why I say texture, because it adds flavor, it adds richness. A house is just a house until the woman's there. When that feminine energy is there, then it's a home. Then there's something on the walls. Then there's decorations. Then there's candles. Then there's scents. All of these things is the ways that you can be a helpmate to add texture to his purpose, to cheerlead him on, to encourage him, to let him know you believe in him. To the home, like I said, decorations, scents, make it more pleasurable, make it more enjoyable, add themes, decor, feng shui, all these things. To the children, he's not tapped into relational skills. He's not tapped into nurturing and caring. Show up and be that bridge to help him with his kids. Support his vision and how he wants to raise them, his values and beliefs. This is how you be a helpmate. Help him in his community, the communities that are important to him. Another thing you can do is be a soundboard for his best interest. This is where you really get to cheerlead and build him up, encourage him. Now, I am going to tell you from the man's perspective, it is not the healthiest thing. It is not the most ideal for him to vent or unload his problems or troubles or things that are too big for him onto you. That's outside of order. If you're under him as the pillar holding up the protection, if he crumbles, if he's cracking, you're going to get crushed too. It's the exact way to have that feminine flower of yours withdraw and harden up and start to protect when you don't trust the man that you're following. The lead that you're behind is starting to shake in his boots. Y'all both going to be sitting there worried. So be the soundboard for his best interest when he shares about the sum of the challenges, when he shares about his day, when he shares about what he's up to, when he shares about what he's thinking about. Be a listening for that. Encourage him. Give him the signs from God, the intuition, the feminine world of the unknown and the energy, the things that he's not tapped into. Plug him into that so that you can help giving him, you said it turns, heavy is the head that wears the crown, but the whisper in the ear is what turns the neck. So that's what I always love to underline. Be a soft landing. Ladies, I'll tell you right now, this is what men want. This is what men value. When I say a soft landing, your touch, your voice, your presence, just that eye contact, just being there with them, talking softly, patiently, smoothly, with kindness, your smell, your perfumes, the sounds. Is there some is it lo-fi? You know, some white noise? You know, you got candles in the background. Pamper him. treat him. Give him a rub down, a massage. Train your dog, like was it Joel? Train your dog to bring him his slippers. That soft landing when he's been out slaving, working, pounding, doing all the things that masculine does, when he can come home to a smooth landing, to be wrapped up in a hug. Just, do you get this, ladies? The texture that I'm talking about. Just the excitement that he walked through the door. This don't cost nothing. To leave him seen, acknowledged, and appreciated. Oh my God, you're back. I miss you. That is the world to a man, because he goes into his world of solitude. He goes into his cave. He goes into wherever he goes off into his battles, his wars that he fights on your behalf. And he's by himself. It's a very lonely world. We, in the modern times especially, we don't have fellowship like we typically did. They went off to battle. They went off to battle with the army, with all of the other men. There was fellowship and camaraderie and all these things that helped them survive psychologically, the shit that human beings need. We don't have that today. He works from home. He works alone. He works remotely. He works in a cubicle. He works with a screen and a keyboard. It's just not organically how we're designed. So inside of that, giving him a soft place to come home, to be seen, to be appreciated, to stand out, to be a fucking king, no matter where he is in his journey in building up your empire, your legacy, and what you're building to go forward into. But when you can be that soft landing and pamper him, surprise him, cater to him, it'll go a long way. That is what he values. Absolutely. And last but not least, ladies, this one, shout out to my guy, Dr. Orion Taraban. He messed up the name. Psychax. That's the guy right there. Be his seductress. Be the wildest, nastiest. For the qualified ladies. Don't lead with your sexuality, but when it's time to get down to it, when it's grown business, bring the nastiest side. Bring the most open side. Make him want to ravish you and show him how much you relish in being ravished, desired, taken, pleasured. Hands down. Because as we know, as we started with, sex is high up there. Freaking the sheets, not in the streets. Don't let him see it up front. Surprise him. That'll really, like, when he finds out, oh, I was wondering, I really like her. I wonder how the sex is. And, just put it on him like that. That's what he's looking for. That is what he wants. And those are the three things. Just to sum back up, embrace your femininity. Give him a chase, not a challenge. And add value to his life. Go back, watch the replay as soon as it's up. But those three things alone, ladies, you will have masculine men literally on bended knee, ready to commit, ready to be with you, ready to show their burning desire for you if you follow these instructions. So with that, the last thing I'm going to do is remind you again, if you haven't already, go pick up your free copy of the Diving Deep ebook. Now, the other book I'm going to look into is The Dance. That's the one where I'm talking about men and women in relationships. So that'll give you a lot more insight to the structures and tools that I have personally used to navigate relationships in my life. I thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up, like, share with somebody you know needs to hear this message. And in the meantime, I'm going to be right here, being the best version of myself, one could say, beyond empowered. Question is, ladies, who are you going to be? Peace. Camera one, down, TikTok. I'll holla at y'all. YouTube, Joel, Luke, everybody in the comments. I appreciate y'all. This has been a blast.